wanted to post this video to show some things about the GT-8 because most of the videos do not really show how to make it sound properly. So what I'm going to show real quick here on my unit is, move the camera around. Now the problem I've always had with this was when I was trying to create an amplifier sound, I was trying to make it do things that it probably wasn't meant to do. So what I started out doing now is I choose the amp I want, I put all of the channels on, all the tuners on 0, and then I start tweaking the amp out. Now I chose the, it looks like the rectifier Modern 1, and put the gain up on 80, bass at 60, and just kind of EQ'd it out. Nothing too drastic. Presence is usually pretty low or off for the metal amps. Keep the level about 47, and I keep the gain on middle so it's not too noisy. Now what I noticed with no EQ is that it sounds extremely screechy when you play on the high end. So then I took the EQ and I cut the high frequencies, and that eliminated all of the noise. I raised the, you gotta set it up for your own amplifier, and all my settings are just pretty basic, nothing too fancy, except for I cut the low end, added low EQ, added high end, and then cut it. Now this eliminated all the screechy, weird noises that you heard that you might hear in yours. Now for just a basic rhythm channel, I keep it basic, little tiny bit of reverb. On the output settings, I'm using a combo amplifier, so I put it on the combo return, and I use just this simple little Behringer amp here. Now the preamp on it is not that great sounding. It sounds okay if you're playing hard rock and stuff, but I tried running it through the front, sounded terrible. Tried running it through the effects loop, sound terrible. It has a stereo auxiliary input with a volume knob on there. It's really hard to see, but you can adjust the volume, and then you got the master volume. Now I put it through that stereo setting, and it's extremely clean sounding at any volume with clean tone, metal, everything. But I still had the problem with the EQing, and then trying to use amplifiers and making them sound nothing. They didn't sound right at all until I just started letting the settings be normal and making small adjustments. So here's an example of one guitar tone. And like I said, it's just the rectifier. I'm using it's a Copy V Dylan, and it is the neck through Gibson style construction, and I use the Gibson Hot Fingers pickup. The original pickups are pretty good sounding in it, but this one here has a more well-rounded sound, so it does crunch and mid-range. So you can get a lot of different sounds out of this thing. I hope this helps out people, because I've had this thing for months and it's been a nightmare. I've wanted to take it back. I wanted to smash it. Another thing that helps out guitar tone is the tone modify. Especially if you have a lower quality guitar, it actually does help out the sound a lot. And basically you just got to EQ it and make sure your output levels are correct and your input levels are correct, and all that's in the manual, and you can download it. Because if you have too much output, it sounds terrible. You got too much input, it sounds terrible. And if you work all that stuff out, everything else will sound great.